Ya, hi guys. Ya, welcome to Darwin. Ini saya Mujibur Rahman dari Charles Darwin University. Um, and currently this is the second day in quarantine. So I want to share my experience in the first day, being one of the first international students to arrive in Australia, Darwin. Uh, and this morning I have my coffee latte, white coffee, and I have some brownies, just something light to eat for breakfast. And it was a very nice or different experience after 9 months of lockdown. The first uh, part of the journey was from Indonesia to Singapore. So trying to get the first plane was, I think, the most nervous part. First, I left my home and said goodbye to my families and see them back again, because we were uncertain when are we going to meet them when we arrive back in Australia. I left my home at about 2 o'clock, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My wife called a taxi and then we went there. The traffic in Jakarta now, it's like better. Like in the past there would be traffic jams, but I think since everyone's at home, work from home, school from home, every activity at home for like 9 months, the road is like clear, the skies are bluer. And we arrived at the airport at about 3 o'clock. And that's where I'm the CDU team leader for Indonesia and Japan. And at that time I met with one of my members, or a new CDU new CDU student from Indonesia, Rifki, in the airport. So when we went inside the airport, we have to check our, what do you call it, this medical form the swab test. We have that is to be verified by the airport authority, and then after that we can check in. The verification process was easy, so they just check your name, date, ID details. Is it negative, positive? Should be negative. And then we waited for my friend Rifki, and then I met the second Indonesian student, who is Nico, and it was nice to meet him. It was nice to meet with the Indonesian team for the first time, and we took our first photo with the Indonesian flag, and I'll probably show you the photo later. And after that we checked in, and checking in was the hard part, or the most nervous part, because we had to print all of our documents for travel, with additional documents related to COVID-19 and additional documents related to the charter flight and border entry into Australia. And everything was smooth. Like they printed out boarding tickets from Jakarta to Singapore, but then for some reason, I don't know why, our flight from Singapore to Darwin was denied. Oh my god. Yeah, so like I think I was stressed out, because like I'm the team leader and responsible for my team to arrive in Darwin, but they denied our tickets, our boarding pass from Singapore to Darwin, and we're still in Jakarta. So can you imagine? Oh my god. So after that we waited for they checked the documents. The Indonesians were denied access into Darwin from Singapore, so we'll probably be stranded there. So at that time I contacted the CDU global team, Mas Windu, it's good that he's Indonesian, so I could talk Indonesian with him when we have problems. And then I just said, hey, I think our ticket is denied. And then they said we have to wait for the results, and that they need the green light. I don't know if they need the green light from Australia or they need the green light from Singapore. So like I was a bit, oh my god, like we prepared for 9 months going back to Australia, and because of one system denial, we cannot go to Australia. So I felt a bit down, but and then I called Mas Windu, who's in Darwin, who's from CDU, in part of the global team administration, and he sorted. I think he contacted travel agents and stuff like that, and then we got a reply, and then said not to worry. If the ticket's not issued in Jakarta, it will be easily issued from Singapore. So I was happy with that. We entered the immigration in Indonesia, and then they just checked our documents. They just stamped out passports. They asked, what am I doing in Darwin? And I just said, I'm a PhD student doing research, and I got a scholarship from LPDP, and like they go, wow. And I think the immigration staff also wanted to have a scholarship and not be stuck in the immigration room for like the next 10 years or 20 years of his life. So education is important. And then after that, we waited for like the next 2 hours. We waited for the next 2 hours. Waiting for the plane, was just sitting down, taking photos, reporting that to our families and to CDU Global that we're safe, we're already in the boarding room waiting for our flights. And yeah. And most shops is open in Soekarno-Hatta Airport, the Terminal 3, like Burger King, Starbucks, everything is open. Peri Plus, if you want to find books, if you want to buy batik, yeah, it's open. So it seems like Indonesia's economy is going back to normal, even though there's this COVID. So like we sit down and then we waited for the plane. And then suddenly our names were called. Mujibur Rahman, Rifki, and Nico, could you please meet the staff in the information desk? Like, oh no, what's happening now? I thought that we will be rejected to board the flight. But then when we arrived at the information desk, they provided our tickets. Oh, I was so happy. And then they said, okay, this is your boarding flights from Singapore to Australia, to Darwin. And then they said, sorry for the inconvenience, and that during this COVID time, there's additional requirements and information that they needed before they could issue the ticket. I'm just like, yeah, thank you. So I'll just say thanks to the CDU team for following up the small hiccup. And then next we went to we waited for the to be called to board the plane, and I think we had to stand in line. So like there was like 10 lines or 6 lines, six clusters, and everybody stood in the line. I was like group 5, and the others were group 4, so I don't know why I was separated from my team. And then we took the flight, Singapore Airlines to Singapore. I think it was a pretty nice flight. And then when we arrived at Singapore, we were the first peoples to get out of the plane. So first we had to have this green ribbon around us, and then we were escorted out of the plane. So we cannot contact anyone, or we are totally separated from any other passengers. Uh, and then when we went out of the plane, we stepped down, we entered the terminal. There was already an usher and a golf cart waiting for us. And yeah, he's a funny guy. I asked the guy, what's his name, the driver of the golf cart, and he didn't want to reply. And he says that his name is Forget. Like, yeah. But good service in Changi. The difference is when we're in Changi, it's like everything's closed and it's also dark. So maybe it's good efforts for social distancing and stuff. Yeah, but it's really quiet. Yeah, it's not like the Changi, like in the last 3 years, like I've been every 4 to 5 months I've been in transiting through Changi airport, and there's always things to do there, but now it's really quiet, everything's closed. Even the iPhone shop and the gadget store is closed. And yeah, I usually go there to look at what's the latest gadget or what's the latest accessories, but yeah, now it's closed. And we cannot get out of the golf car, so they drove us directly to the hotel transit. And during the hotel transit, we had to register, show all of our documents, sign more documents. So many requirements, health requirements, health checks. And then finally we entered the hotel rooms. Each 3 of us went into our hotel rooms, and we had to stay there for the next hour or 2 hours waiting for the call. And we cannot go out of our hotel room, so there's no view, no nothing. It's nice that we could have a rest and have a hot shower during the transit. And then after that, we got a call at 12:10 at night to get on board the plane, and that was the first time we met the Japanese students. Breakfast has arrived. I've been waiting for so long. So this is our breakfast. Thank you, mate. Okay, cool. So this is the second day, and we've got our breakfast fruit salad. Salad's good. And let's unbox this thing. Oh my god, we got cold eggs. Okay, nice. We've got milk. Yay, cornflakes. Okay, muffin, makes sense. Yogurt. And I think this is apple juice and a cold bread. Yeah, so I think this breakfast is too much food. I don't think I eat as much as this, and I usually don't eat breakfast. I usually just wake up and have a nice coffee, but I think I would save it for later. Yeah, where was I? Okay, so it was the first time we met our Japanese friends. There was 2 Japanese students flying to Darwin. I think their flight was from Tokyo to Singapore. They arrived in Singapore at 5, so they had quite a good time quite a long time in Singapore. 5 o'clock in the afternoon until like 12 o'clock at night, and they paid $200. Like from Indonesia, we arrived at like 10 o'clock at night, and we still had to pay the what do you call it? The transit room. and then we had to pay $200 for 2 hours. It was a good thing that they gave us dinner. I had this nice salmon. It's a good choice. So choose the salmon, the salmon dinner. I think the others is like chicken or vegetarian. Like it was a nice piece of salmon. And then when we arrived at we met with the Japanese. We took our first group photo from Team Indonesia and Japan. I was happy to see them. And one of them is you, the other one is Stanley. And we're on our way back to the golf cart. And it was just like a 10-minute drive between terminals from the hotel to the boarding room. And then it was the first time we met with the other 63 other students from all over the world. Actually just 5 countries from China, the majority from China, I think like 40 or 50 people from China. And then you have 10 people from Vietnam, you have others from Hong Kong and Indonesia. So you have five groups of nationalities boarding this CDU flight. Yeah, it was good to finally meet them. We entered our holding room or transit room, and I just realized, oh, this is scary. Like, I know some of the students were like wearing the full hazmat suits like astronauts, and then others are just like wearing the face mask. Others also use the face shield. Yeah, I think everyone has their own ways to feel protected and feel safe. Yeah. And we just waited like for the next 30 minutes. We got an information from the CDU global team that the team from Hong Kong will be late. They were like delayed for like an hour, but they said that it wouldn't delay our flight. So yeah, we were happy. And the next thing you know, that we were called up to enter the plane. I thought that we were going to use Singapore Airlines, where there was the internet on board, great facilities, but then it turns out we got the Silk Airlines, so no internet. Oh my god, what am I going to do for 5 hours, the flight from Singapore? And at that time I had to prepare a conference paper and presentation, which I'm going to do on the 30th November. Yeah, so it was good that they upgraded our tickets. Since I'm a team leader for Indonesia and Japan, CDU upgraded my tickets from economy class to business class. Very thankful for that, where I had access to electricity. So during the flight I just charged my laptop totally and worked throughout the night, practicing my speech and presentation and cleaning up my PowerPoints. I feel sorry for the guy sitting next to me. He was from Vietnam. During the whole flight, at least until 3 o'clock in the morning, my lights were on and I'm still typing away on my laptop. So, sorry Vietnam. Sorry team leader from Vietnam, forgot your name. Yeah, and then I just finished my presentation. I feel confident for the speech that I'm going to do the next day. And then I was very tired, so I just turned everything off, packed it all away, turned off the lights, and went to sleep. For me, it was probably one of the nicest sleeps, because after 9 months of uncertainty of when to return back to Australia, we finally could reach back to Australia. Yeah, meeting my supervisors, can't wait to do that. And I just like to meet people directly, and meeting the staff in CDU, super friendly, and meeting my old friends, PhD friends at CDU, the Indonesians, non-Indonesians, Australians, and then meeting all of my roommates. I think somebody took over my room, but probably a couple of weeks I'll probably be sleeping on the sofa for a while. Yeah, but that's life. And then we arrived. I woke up at about 7 o'clock in the morning. I looked out the window. Wow, it's already bright. I was just thinking, oh my god, this is going to get really hot. And in the Singapore, and because everything is air conditioned, yeah, I was like wearing a batik, a rompi, vest, and then a jacket. So like, oh, this is going to be really hot stepping out of the plane. And then suddenly we landed in Darwin. I was grateful for that. And we were welcomed with the health security check. It was great. So yeah, that's the first part of the journey about the travels from my home and finally reaching Darwin. Probably in the next couple of days I'll upload what's happening, and I could share what we did in the first day in quarantine. So I'll just enjoy this coffee, have my breakfast, and see you guys later.